Hey everybody, Anthony Dodge, Mile Train Outsider. And what I'm going to do in this little follow-up video, I want to show you how I am physically set up for OBS. I've already kind of explained how to set up OBS digitally on your computer. I've tried to do that to help anybody that wants to do that. Whether you have 2 cameras, 3 cameras, or if you are an insane, stupid, whatever person, 10 or more cameras. Because yes, I have 10 cameras that I can pop into, and this is one scene. I was on one scene. This is another scene, as I explained setting them up. A scene is simply an arrangement of cameras and materials. For example, here's another scene. This is my opening screenshot. This is a combination of 3 pictures. So that's all that scene is. And my microphone's added so you could hear me talk. But this is one more scene. I added all these cameras into the scene. I positioned them so that they're all the same size. So you get 9 perfect views and then a 10th camera showing me so that you can actually see me talking to you. But I can also take me out of that. I could add another camera. I sometimes add my GoPro. Okay, I can add my GoPro. I could add 3 GoPros. I could be stupid and go out and buy 3 more cameras and just keep adding cameras and cameras and cameras to see it. So I'm going to show you how this is all set up. But I warn you, if you are a neat freak, if you like clean, neat wiring, this is not for you. Because my camera lines all coming in and all the different things I have plugged into my computer from all over this room look like a bunch of snakes got drunk and are having an orgy. You've been warned. Let's look at my system. All right, so here is, as we jokingly call, my supercomputer. This is not a name brand computer. This is a Frankenstein. It was custom built for me with some specs I requested by a local computer shop. If you want to know what's in it, let me show you. So what I have is a Prime from ASUS. I have a Prime Z590A motherboard. And it was specifically set up because it had a lot of USB attachments. It came with all kinds of USB ports. I am running a very high quality. It's not the highest quality in the world. It's the 3060. There's the 3080, there's the 3040, and the 3020. So this is like level 3 of 4. But this is the EVGA GeoForce RTX video card. You don't need this fancy. You don't. I was able to get it. And then if you are going to go this crazy, you better have a good power source. So I have a really strong power source in it, as well as a really good cooling system. And because it's this type of computer that is set up not only to do my YouTube live streaming, but it's also my gaming and playing computer. So it's going to have all kinds of excessive bells and whistles. For example, if I power it up, it has disco lights, which immediately go off because I have told my computer I don't need the disco lights running. But when you start it up, and I can make those lights do all kinds of things. It's silly. Now, at the top of my computer, you'll notice there's nothing on the front. It's just a big vent and fans to keep what I'm running cool. And on the top, I've got 2 USB 1 ports, basic ports, USB 1 and USB 2. And you can see I have a dongle plugged in from my mouse. Actually, no, I think that's my keyboard dongle. And then this bit here actually goes down to a multi-tap. And you can see I got a lot of things plugged in, but this is a powered multi-tap. It plugs in right over here. So it provides its own power. And I am running 2 cameras, a Blu-ray disc attachment so I could burn and make Blu-ray disc if I wanted. Who makes their own Blu-rays anymore? But every now and then I still do, like a vacation video, which requires 2 USB ports of its own. So I got 2 cameras, and then I also have the dongle for my keyboard in there, or for my mouse. I forget which way I set it up. On the other side, I have another multi-tap, a hub that is plugged in behind on the wall behind the computer, which has my external hard drive, which I use as a backup, and it's a 2 terabyte one. And then I have 2 more cameras plugged in, and I think that's it right now. Now, before I go behind and show you, all right, I run 2 monitors, which I have plugged in. 2 monitors plugged in. There's my microphone, additional cameras I might need. In fact, I have an old camera that was always acting up on my old live streams, which was supposed to be 4K, but it was an El Cheapo, and it came damaged, and I probably should have sent it back. The picture quality was never good. You can see that it's kind of cracked on the edge there. And I finally just got rid of it. I took it out of my system. I run 2 monitors. So when I'm live streaming, I have my OBS here, and then I have my, over here, I have a split screen where I have my YouTube studio so I can see the live chat. And then I also have my Central Station 3 up on the computer as well, so I can operate a couple of more things. And not that this is part of the video, but there's my Central Station 3, 2 of my controllers. I have a tablet under here that I can control my Central Station 3 with. I have a tablet over here that I use to control my Central Station 3 with as well. So no matter which way I'm looking, I have a way of controlling my layout right at my fingertips. And then this laptop has nothing installed. So let's look around at what I have. So way up there you can see 1 camera. You can see another camera here on top of my monitor. Behind, here's what I call the bridge cam, and below the bridge cam, there's my little 4K cam. But since I only live stream in 1080p, you don't see it. Over there, up the ramp, I have another cam. I have another cam in that corner. And then up on this post here, I have another camera. I have a camera there, and I have a camera there. And of course, I have what I call the Joyce cam right here, because when Joyce comes down, she sits in front of this computer, and I turn this camera on her. So that is 9 cameras that are plugged into my computer. Now I have to go under the table and show you how insane this is. But I've already shown you. I have a couple of cameras plugged in here because I like to spread the cameras out so they're coming in from different sources. I have a couple of cameras plugged in here, and they're all connected by 15 to 25 foot long USB extension cables. They just extend USB. All right, so let's go under. Now up here, this is actually the motherboard connection. All this stuff runs to the motherboard. And there you see an HDMI and a DVI connection source, which is where you'd normally plug your monitor in. But the minute you add a video card, this gets bypassed, so these won't work anymore. But I do have USB ports, and you can see I have got stuff plugged into all these USB ports. There's a USB-C port right there. I've got something plugged into the USB port. There's a couple. We got to focus. But they're all labeled. Trying to see if we can get this to focus. So these are all USB ports, 2.0, 3.0. There's my Ethernet. There's all my sound, speaker, and everything other connections. And then way down here is my video card connection. My video card has the 2 monitors plugged into it, but you could see I could add up to 2 more monitors. And then below it, I have expansion PCI buses here. And these are all multi-tabs, and you can see they're USB 3.0, and this is where most of my cameras are plugged in. Now, the card below it only has one camera plugged in. That's the card I mentioned a couple of streams back that was acting up because I forgot to do the drivers. I forgot to install the drivers correctly, and I lost the disk. So that's that. So for now, instead of having all my cameras plugged into that, I moved them over to those USB hubs I have. But this is how everything is connected. You don't have to be this insane. This is meant to be an over-the-top computer, but I added all these, I requested all these expansion and additional USB ports to make this thing run beyond the needs of any sane computer person. So all this is added in, and I'll be replacing that card down there with the one I'm going to show you in a minute when I get out of here. But yeah, this is insane, and it's a mess right now. I also don't have which camera is plugged into which port labeled right now. I didn't need to worry about that because all the ports were high-end ports and dedicated ports. The only shared ports were up top, and then there's right there, I'm sorry, right up here, that's a shared port. There is a USB cord here. That's one camera, and notice I did not plug another camera in next to it because that's a shared port. And then there's two additional USB 2.0 ports next to it, so I have two cameras plugged in. That's another camera. That's two more cameras down there, and then 1, 2, 3 cameras down here. I could plug in more, but for now I don't need to. So you kind of look at my system. Now let me explain a couple of things more clearly. At the back of my computer, I tried to show you that I had a couple of these installed. In fact, this is a new one to replace the one that was acting up. This is a PCIe card that you put in the back of your desktop computer. That's why desktop is a little bit, well, is a lot better than laptop. But you know, if you don't have a desktop, you don't have a desktop. You work with the laptop, you work with what you got. You can try to add 3 or 4 cameras if you use a powered USB hub on your laptop and see if you can get it to read 4 cameras and it's not overtaxing the CPU in your laptop. You do what you got. Just know you might have limitations. Know that if you use a multi-hub here, especially one that is not powered where you just plug it in, that you add 2 or 3 cameras into that, they may and probably will fight with each other and your camera will struggle reading them. And then if you try to live stream, they will flicker a lot because their signals are crossing going into your computer. All right, but I added a couple of these. This allows me to add 5 cameras. Now this particular one is because I'm preparing for the future. I have 2 USB 3.2 slots. That's either, well, technically they're teal now, but you might find some that are blue. Blue is 3.0 and 3.2 is the newest. And the difference in all those numbers is just how fast they can transmit data. So newer cameras will have USB 2, which is red, or USB 3, blue, USB 3.2. They'll have that, and you need to connect them into an equal slot. A lot of your webcams you probably bought cheap are USB 1, so you got no problems. But this also has USB-C connections, Type C. That's the wave of the future. A lot of webcams that are now being advertised already have that. And if you're worried about it, you can buy an adapter. This takes USB 1 to 3.2, USB 1, USB 2, USB 3, USB 3.2. Yep. And turns it into Type C, which is that oval shape, which is the best one. Why they didn't think of that type of connection originally, I don't know. Because it's universal. You don't have to try to figure out which way the 2 tongues are, you know, it just all goes in, pops it in. Much higher, stronger connection, etc., etc. But you can buy adapters. So that's something you could do if you have a USB Type-C slot on your desktop or laptop and want to add a computer, but you can buy an adapter. These are real cheap. You can get these for $5, $6, so about 4 or 5 pounds. You can get one of these, put it on your computer, and plug it into your USB-C slot on your laptop if your laptop is fairly new. You might even have a couple of USB Type-Cs. So again, that would give you a way to add cameras. But yeah, you plug this in and it just allows you. And the nice thing about this is they call these self-powered, but they're not really self-powered. But when you plug them into your PCI slot on your computer, they do have capacitors and everything that run, but each of these counts as a dedicated port. So that worry that cameras are being read by the same port and confusing, that's all out the window. These are all considered dedicated ports. And high-speed transmission, which means it's going to flow smoothly. And if you got a decent video card, it will appreciate this as well because it's doing less work. If you have a crappy video card, it will appreciate this even more. But you can add one of these. This particular one cost about 30 pounds, about 39 American dollars. You can get real cheap ones that are all USB for 20 bucks, but those, I don't know their quality. This one is fairly highly regarded, and I'm going to put this in on the back where I had the one that wasn't working. So anyhow, that was a look at my system and how crazy I am. A madman that's got a rather flat, unadventurous layout, the train table as I call it, and 10 cameras or more going around it. So I hope you had you enjoyed a little look at the insanity I have here. So until my next live stream or my next posted video, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains.